What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Warriors Report. What better way to wake up on your birthday than to get some trade rumors involving the Toronto Raptors? The Raptors are being linked to two very interesting players on the trade market. So I'm going to be breaking those rumors down for you guys today. So guys, if you want to wish me a happy birthday, just show me a little appreciation, hit the like button. If you want to hit the subscribe button, that'd be very much appreciated as well. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shout outs on my channel, and the shout out for today's video goes out to Todd Stevens. So Todd, thank you so much for supporting this channel. To your likes and comments, it is very much appreciated. Now let's talk about player number one. Well, this was actually being reported by Shams Charnia, and NBA Central had tweeted this out that the Lakers and the Raptors are among the teams that have shown interest in Myles Turner in recent months. Now, this should come as to no surprise to anyone, because this is something that obviously the Raptors have been in a badly need of a center, which has been quite some time, ever since we lost Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. And this is actually something I had been preaching on for several years now. Even after that Tampa season, I said we need a center. A lot of you guys said you're crazy. Masai Ujiri is obviously buying into the 6'9" vision. I said, no matter what the 6'9" vision, you can't just replace a position. You need a center. And we're seeing the Raptors defense and rebounding really suffer this year. It's been quite evident if you watch the Raptors closely that rebounding has been one of the most important flaws of the Toronto Raptors. They just sometimes are not able to grab any defensive rebounds. We saw that against the New York Knicks as well. So again, Myles Turner fits in with a lot of what the Raptors need. Now, one thing I will say before we start talking about what pieces are going to be moved to the Indiana Pacers, guys, we have to be honest with ourselves. Indiana Pacers know that the Toronto Raptors and the LA Lakers both need a center. Now, when you have something that someone wants, they're not just going to give away for a first-round pick or Gary Trent Jr. Why? Because they know you want this. So the price is going to be increased that much more because they know you're desperate for it. Everyone around the NBA knows that the Raptors need a center. So why would the Raptors acquire Myles Turner? Why would the Indiana Pacers just give up Myles Turner for a first-round pick? It's not going to be that simple. And I do want to talk about, obviously, contract situations as well. Myles Turner currently is making $18 million. So yes, before people suggest Gary Trent Jr., the Indiana Pacers don't really need a shooting guard. They have Buddy Hield, they have Benedict Mathurin, they also have Tyrese Halliburton that can play the shooting guard position as well, although he's their point guard. So again, I understand where obviously the Gary Trent Jr. trade talks will start to happen, and a lot of fans will suggest that Gary Trent Jr., Myles Turner throwing a first-round pick. I don't think the Indiana Pacers may not want Gary Trent Jr. They have a lot of shooting guards already. So again, I think maybe if you could somehow find a way to include the Lakers and the Indiana Pacers along with the Raptors in a three-way deal where you send the LA Lakers Gary Trent Jr., but again, the Lakers don't have a lot of salary that they can send back in return, and then Myles Turner coming to the Toronto Raptors, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be really hard to acquire Myles Turner, but he is so much of what the Raptors need. He's 6'11", 250 pounds, close to that 7-foot center the Raptors need. He's physical. He's a big body. He's able to stretch the floor, which is one of the key parts of Myles Turner's game that a lot of people don't really appreciate. I mean, when you look around the league, and how many starting centers can you see around the league can stretch the floor, shoot threes, block shots, and are good defenders given Myles Turner's size? That's a very rare combination of skills, and that is something that a lot of teams need. It's like that finding that rare Pokemon. You know, you find one, you're going to keep it. So I think the Raptors would obviously be wise to acquire Myles Turner. The only thing is going to be what is going to be the asking price. So again, we'll see what happens, but obviously Myles Turner is having a career season as well. I want to take a look at his statistics, sir, before we move on to the next rumor. So as you see there, he's having a career year with the Indiana Pacers where he's averaging 16.7 points, 2.1 blocks. He's consistently almost every single season, he's been averaging 2 blocks. Now, he's not I wouldn't say he's the greatest rebounder for his size, someone who's 6'11", but again, the game has changed a lot where it's more of mobility rather than size. But I mean, Myles Turner does provide size for the Raptors, but 7.8 rebounds isn't bad. And honestly, I know his free throw shooting, some people may say 76%, honestly, guys, is not bad at all. So again, he fits in with a few of the things that Raptors need. He's going to be able to stretch the floor. You can provide a little bit more floor spacing for Pascal Siakam, Scotty Barnes. So again, that's going to be the challenging issue for the Raptors is when you do acquire a center. I know people have mentioned Jakob Poeltl, but think about this. Jakob doesn't stretch the floor. Pascal needs spacing. He attacks the basket. Scotty Barnes needs spacing. He attacks the basket as well. And obviously the Raptors aren't a good three-point shooting team. So And not only that, he provides rim protection, what the Raptors desperately need, because what they do often is collapse in the paint, and all of a sudden they're scrambling everywhere because they're trying to protect the paint. And trust me, guys, the Raptors defense will be that much better once they acquire a good defensive player, particularly a rim protector as well. But let's move on to rumor number 2 here. Now, this is less of a rumor and more of a suggestion by Zack Lowe, who suggested the Raptors offense is struggling. And shout out to Rap City for posting this, that said the Raptors are a potential destination for all-star Zack Lavine from the Bulls. Again, source was Zack Lowe. Now, this is less of a rumor, more of a suggestion, obviously, because we've been hearing Zack Lavine's name quite a bit in the trade rumor mill, and Chicago Bulls have not performed the way that many people had expected them. Now, I will say, Zack Lavine, one thing, guys, if there's one team out there besides the Toronto Raptors I follow, it's actually the Chicago Bulls. And a lot of fans are saying Zack Lavine doesn't get along with DeMar DeRozan. He plays hero ball. In fact, there was even a report that came out a few days ago stating that a lot of the Bull players confronted Zack Lavine in the locker room. Obviously, I don't know if that's a effort thing. A lot of people believe there's also reports out there that he's trying to force his way onto the LA Lakers. But I find this very interesting because I've always liked Zack Lavine, 6'5", 200 pounds, but he plays way bigger than his size. Like if you were to compare Zack Lavine and Gary Trent Jr., who are the same size, same height, you just notice a difference in Zack Lavine's game. He plays way bigger. You would think he's probably 6'6", 6'7". He plays much larger. He's obviously going to provide the Raptors with a lot of offense. But before we start about trade talks, there's one thing we do have to talk about, and that is contract. Now, Zack Lavine does make quite a bit of money. As you see there, he's making $37 million this season. He's making 40, 43, 45 the following season. But the one good thing I will say, he's making a lot of money, sure, but he's going to be locked into a contract for at least another 3 years guaranteed, which would be huge for the Raptors. And again, like I mentioned, he's 27 years old, so he fits in with the timeline of Pascal Siakam and not so much OG Anunoby, but he's fairly close. You know, the only thing is, what would the Raptors have to give up for $37 million? Zack Lowe has actually suggested, which a lot of fans have been suggesting, is trade Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr. to the Chicago Bulls. Now, again, I'm not opposed to that. I actually would absolutely love that trade if the Chicago Bulls did accept it. There's no rumor surrounding the Raptors actually being interested because, again, he's been known as a guy that plays hero ball. There's a lot of questions, even him last year. If you go watch the videos of where DeMar DeRozan hit that game winner, Zack Lavine almost looks like he's not happy. So again, if he's already having issues with one of the nicest guys around the NBA and DeMar DeRozan, you really have to question whether or not the Raptors would go for a guy like that. Again, it's suggesting the rumors too that he wants to force his way to the LA Lakers, although the Lakers have nothing they can give the Bulls. This would be a very interesting acquisition. Again, you never know with an organization like the Toronto Raptors, they can hone players and, you know, keep that attitude problem aside. So again, we don't know what's going on in the locker room. We don't know how true those reports are, but still a very interesting player. Now, taking a look at Zack Lavine's statistics here, he's actually having a down season compared to his last season. His point production went from 24 last season to 21.7 this season. His three-point shot dipped a little bit, but he's still shooting an amazing 36% on 7.5 three-point attempts per game. So again, he solves a lot of the Raptors' issues. The Raptors offense obviously struggles because they don't have any shot creator outside of Pascal Siakam. They need floor spacing, which is Zack Lavine, and you get so much offense. Again, someone who's scoring 21.7 points in a down year is still really, really impressive. I mean, Zack Lavine can do a lot of different things for you. So again, he can pass the ball a little bit too. So it'd be a very, very interesting, and he's a pretty decent free throw shooter as well. Let's be honest. 82% is no slouch for someone like Zack Lavine. He could be your shooting guard, and he could be that shot creator besides Pascal Siakam. I actually think their games would complement each other so perfectly. Again, the only issue is what will the Raptors actually be willing to give up, and would the Chicago Bulls accept that? Again, we do have to remember, before we mentioned Fred VanVleet and Gary Trent Jr., both of those guys are heading into free agency, and the Chicago Bulls already have Nikola Vucevic, who's also heading into free agency. So would a team like the Chicago Bulls, who are on the verge of blowing it up, really want two guys, Fred VanVleet, who's about 28 years old, Gary Trent, makes sense, 23, but do they really want to acquire two guys that are heading into free agency with three of their key guys heading into free agency? So again, I don't know the questions to that. I don't know the answers to that, but we'll see what happens. Very interesting that we get these rumors. What are your thoughts on this? Would you like the Raptors to target Zack Lavine or Myles Turner, or potentially both? It'd be very interesting to see what happens. I do want to hear your thoughts on this. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. And the trivia question is, where do the Raptors rank in the NBA in points per game? Is it A15? Is it B20? Is it C24? Or is it D19? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So that will be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for your support as always, guys. I do have some exciting announcements coming up soon, so stay tuned to that. And that will be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching this video. Merry Christmas to everyone who celebrates, and to those who don't, happy holidays, guys. Stay safe and enjoy your holidays.